Well, you can forget any game in the Premier League this weekend. Forget the Championship. There's only one game that matters this weekend, and that is Cardiff versus Lincoln in the capital. How you're doing? Welcome back to Where Bluebirds Walk. We've got Jamie Ellis and Craig back with us this week to look ahead to the biggest game of the League One calendar so far, and delighted that we have got here from here for the Lincoln podcast. We've got Jake as well, who's going to give us his thoughts on this massive game. How are you, Jake? Thanks for coming on and being a bit outnumbered. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling good. Obviously, 17 games unbeaten at the minute. Coming to Cardiff, we've done it once. Why can't we do it again? I'm looking forward to. It is the biggest game in the League One this season. It's mental, but yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely. And of course, we're hoping that this fixture is going to be a championship fixture, of course, next season for both as well. So you're very welcome. Also, this week, we're going to have a chat about the Lincoln game, of course, first. Then we're going to review Doncaster and talk about Dylan Lawler. What a goal. Bad defending or just genius? Well, we'll see. We've got Jamie Ellis's Craig's view on all of that. Plus, we're talking about the A to Z of Cardiff. We're up to letter R this week. Who gets in there? We're talking about who do we think is going to go down from League One? Who are the worst teams we've played this season? Get the panel's view on that. And referees as well. Is there a single good one in League One? Cardiff haven't had one, I don't think, for a while, but we'll get the panel's view on all of that as well. Right, let's kick things off then, shall we? Jamie, there are some fans that are saying, do you know what? Well, I say some fans. I've seen it written twice. So what you should do is you two this weekend just pass it between you for 90 minutes, take the point each, shake each other's hand, and see each other next year in the Championship. Because there's no way that Bolton or Bradford are catching you. Yeah, we should all just go home happy. It's not that big a game. Tell them they're wrong.
It's a good job we've both got managers that want to play good attacking football and want to win every game then, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, the reverse fixture was, I remember going up and it was just the weather, everything, you know, the atmosphere in the home end was brilliant. And it was you could tell at that time it was a big point in the season. And then when obviously Sonny Badley scored the winner, we left there despite having that cracking goal from Perry NG, feeling like, oh, here we go. At that point, is it 20th of December? We felt like it's a big moment in the season. Since then, you know, they've had manager of the month, we've had manager of the month, and as of yet, no curse has happened for either of our managers. And we've kind of, all right, we had our blip last week, but we've both found ways to win, but win in a manner that we like. I think that's why we see ourselves first and second, respectively.
Yeah. Cheers, Jimmy. Jake, come on then. Tell us what's been the secret. I mean, you've been there and thereabouts, haven't you, in previous seasons? But what's been the secret this season of Lincoln's dominance?
I genuinely just think it's the experience that we've added this summer massively. I mean, the two big ones, you know, Jamie's already mentioned Sonny Badley. I mean, Sonny Badley, I know you guys have been in the Championship and in the Premier League for a number of years now, but Sonny Badley is like a League One expert. He's got promoted out of this league a number of times with Derby, with Luton. And he's a very cultured left-sided centre-half. And we lost Pordy O'Connor in the summer last year, who's gone to Reading, and he was an outstanding centre-half for the league. And I thought we struggled to get better, but Sonny Badley's come in and he's just an absolute monster. And then Adam Reach on the left-hand side as well. You guys will be familiar with Adam Reach, having played in the Championship. He's that man just has a goal of the season catalogue just for all the goals that he scores by himself. He's been really good at left back. I think the experience of the whole team, like Tendai Dariq, the captain, he's been massive for us so far this year. And Collins as well. I know he did his ACL, former Bluebird, James Collins. He's been a big part of it. Even though he did his ACL in January, he's been massive behind the scenes. So I think it is that experience of adding to the group, because we are quite a young group, so to speak. We do have to sell our best players because we're not the biggest budgeted team in the league. And we sold our academy prospect, Jovan Makama, to Norwich in the summer for, at the time, a club record transfer fee. And it's just unlocked us to go and buy better players. And here we are now, second place in the league. It's been a bit of a whirlwind.
Just that. Craig, are you surprised at how well Lincoln have done yourself? I mean, you've watched them yourself. You were there, of course, at the reverse fixture. Did you expect them to be there, or or
No,
not?
but at the start of the season, to be honest, I didn't think they would be one of the ones up there. But I didn't know much about them either, to be honest. To be fair, but looking at the table, you've got the regular big boys in that league. You would assume would be up there. So yeah, it's taken me complete by surprise. Let alone these 17 games unbeaten, dear me. But they do a loss, and fancy perhaps it'll come Saturday now.
Ellis, what are you gonna have to do to beat this stubborn? I mean, powerful in the air. Oh, you're muted, mate.
Sorry, it's it's going to take the performance of a lifetime in it because they're on such a roll. You know, we know what momentum does for a team, and you can just keep winning as it goes to show with Lincoln. I think we're going to have to be really disciplined. Obviously, we saw how tough they were back in December, and it is that kind of that match of experience versus a lot of our youngsters and academy prospects. It's going to have to stay disciplined. We can't get too excited. We have to be solid at the back. And to be honest, I don't know what to expect from this game. It could go either way for me. So I'm finding it really hard to kind of predict what I think is going to happen. But hopefully it'll be a cracker.
0-0 written all over it, boys.
No way. Jake, would you take a point now, or is that no good to you?
I want to win the league, so no, I want to come and win. I want to come and win. Like, I know it maybe sounds a bit silly, like little Lincoln coming to Cardiff and winning, but we've proved we can beat Cardiff this season. We know. I actually think Cardiff are almost the perfect blueprint for how we want an opposition to play in terms of play it out from the back, play quite risky. We're very high press. From what I remember and of what I've seen of Cardiff, certainly when they came to Central Bank, it'd be different at the Cardiff City Stadium, right? Where I think the atmosphere got on top of you young players quite heavily at our place, and they struggled. Certainly, I think Dylan Lawler had a bit of a stinker, which doesn't happen very often. And I really think that that is exactly how we want to play, and we will do it on the road. We'll sit in, we'll let you have the ball, we'll let you keep it, but you've got to be really quick and really reactive to the transition, and that's exactly how we want to do it. And I think we want to win. I think Michael wants to win the league. So I think we've just got to come to Cardiff and give the best account of ourselves possible. And we know that we can win. So we'll have to wait and see. But I expect us to not just come for a point. I think we're going to try and win the game.
I mean, tactically, Jamie, this is going to be quite interesting, isn't it, Barry? It's fair to say most League One games might follow a pattern, but he's going to have to think tactically, isn't he? Barry Murphy this weekend. Is it fair to say that this is probably the best two managers coming up against each other in the division?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's rumours and things for reasons about both managers respectively. And as at the minute, none of that's got to the teams or the clubs, is it? It hasn't upset the apple cart, so to say. They've got their own ways of doing it, like Jay said there, with experience in regards to Sonny Bradley. At Sinsel Bank, you're able to, like you say, with that corner there, you're able to kind of suck the ball in a little bit with the fans bouncing around and things, and with conditions up there, the fog waning, and we didn't really see it, the second goal from the corner. Corners has been our Achilles heel, if I'm honest, because we've got no Salek. Defensively, it seems like we do get exposed at times from defending corners. So that might be an area for you guys to look at. But I just feel like BBM has shown, especially this week with our recent result away at Doncaster, we have a bit of adversity, what we did at Plymouth. Then he looks at it and goes, right, what did we not do so good? Didn't make massive changes, but the changes he made were the right changes. And like we've seen now, as we said earlier on in the preview about Dylan Lawler, it's sometimes you've got to take players out for the sake of the match you're playing against. Doesn't matter how well they played. If you feel like Jake said there, where maybe a certain striker plays better against a certain defender, you've got to match that up. And I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a cagey game, I think. I think it's going to be cagey, but I just hope that our experience will get us over the edge with that. And I think whoever goes on to win this wins the league, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right then, Jake, how do they beat you? You've just heard what Cardiff's weakness is. What is this? Does this Lincoln side have a weakness?
Yeah, of course it does. Every team's in League One for a reason, right? But just going back to set pieces, I think we're statistically the best set piece team in Europe. We scored 30 goals from 52 from set plays last year, and we've already scored about 23, I think, this season so far. So that's going to be a massive part of the game. But in terms of how you beat Lincoln, I just think you have the individual quality within this Cardiff team, like to pull any team apart at this level, and maybe even some the level above. Like, I don't know if Salik's going to be fit, but he would be a concern to me. Cole will, both of them recently, because I know Joel stepped up. I just think if you play your intricate football, you saw with the goal that you scored at Cine Bank, if you play your football, you can get through us, right? Because we are so regimented in trying to keep clean sheets and try and be defensively sound. I think if you play your best football, you will end up breaking through and getting opportunities. It's whether you can take them. And obviously, if you've got no Salek, again, like I said, I don't know if he's going to play. That would make me feel a lot better if he didn't play. But you've got other players at the top end of the pitch that can be dangerous, like Ollie Tanner and Ashford and players like that. I think if you play your football like through the thirds and really pull us apart, you could really do some damage. But it takes a lot to pull this Lincoln team from side to side.
I mean, how set up do you think you are for the Championship already, Jake? Obviously, both teams need to invest heavily, but is there planning? Is there investment to come? Do you think? Are you well backed financially? You sound.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys saw it's been national news. We've recently been had sort of like a majority shareholder, a guy called Ron Fowler, who used to run the San Diego Padres and MLB. He's recently taken over. We've got a load of new stuff coming to the ground next season, including 600 extra seats. It doesn't sound a huge amount maybe to Cardiff, but to Lincoln that would take us over 11,000, which is quite a big deal for us. I think he's worth about £1.9 billion, so he's one of the wealthier owners. Yes, he's worth all that. Is he going to plough it into the footballing side? I don't know. But recently we have been making up like market opportunities. Like I think we've broken our record twice this season for transfer fees with Ivan Varfolomei, who you'll see on Saturday. Josh Honohan, someone from Shamrock, you won't see. He's been injured. But we do have the financial pulling power. And I think the new owners are waiting for Lincoln to get to the Championship to really flex their muscles a little bit. So, I think the club are ready. I think we play a good brand of football in terms of if we get to the Championship, we're not going to have a lot of the ball. We know that. So I think that it's not too much of a transition from having to play possession football now through to having no ball in the Championship. So I think that suits. And we've got assets that can step up, like Jack Moylan, Rob Street, Freddie Draper, young players that are all good enough. So, I think Lincoln are finally getting there, and it's going to be exciting if we do.
Yeah, can't wait for this one Saturday. Everyone in Cardiff and Lincoln is going to be wishing their work week to go as quick as possibly can to get to Saturday. Let's get some score predictions from you all then, shall we? Be nice to each other. Craig?
I'm going to go 2-1 Cardiff. I think they got to be due a lot. They got to be due a loss. They can't, as good as a run on, can't keep winning and winning. But honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it's 0-0. I could see the amount of goals we're scoring, both teams. It wouldn't surprise if we just cancel each other out, and then it wouldn't surprise me at all. Honestly, I'm gonna go 2-1.
Okay, Ellis.
I think it's going to go, I think this point gap's going to last for a little bit longer. So I think it's going to be a draw on Saturday. So I think there'd be some goals in it. So I'm going to go for a 2-2, and then this 1 point gap maintain itself to cause also a panic attacks for a bit longer.
Okay. Jamie?
KG 1-0 win, home win. You mentioned Salek there. We're kind of hoping he comes back soon in a way, but we've actually probably played better without him. We've probably been more fluid in attack when Salek's not up front, as daft as that sounds, and yet he's still our top goal scorer. But we're seeing, I think Kellerman was rested yesterday, and you wouldn't have guessed that he wasn't in the team. So 1-0, no matter by hook, by crook, 1-0 home win, maybe a penalty. We might get a penalty, who knows, eh?
There's a pig flying outside under there. Right then, Jake, you can have the last one here.
I'm going to flip Jamie's score. I'm going to go 1-0 Lincoln, goal from a set piece. Typical Lincoln City away performance. Done it a couple of times this season. I back us to keep clean sheet. I'm going to go 1-0.
Bro. And how are you getting down, Jake? Are you coming on a coach? Have you got your itinerary booked out for some beers in the morning?
Yeah, so I'm driving. My mate's driving me. me and him down to Cardiff with them, going for some food afterwards. But I've got to go to Newcastle pretty much straight as soon as I get home to go and see my little sister. So I'm going to be on the road a long time on Saturday. So hopefully 3 points can really help me out, because I'm going to be tired by the time I get to Tynemouth, which could be exciting.
Okay, right. Well, as a neutral, obviously, wish you well for the rest of the season after this game. And thanks so much for dropping on for us. If you are a Lincoln fan that has found this, go and check out, if you don't already, Jake's excellent podcast Here for the Lincoln, which can be downloaded on Spotify and Apple. And obviously, you can follow him on Twitter there, Jake_Tog98. Thank you so much, Jake. We may speak again
Next season
in the Championship. Brilliant. Rock on. Thanks so much.
Okay, guys.
Good to associate. Thank you so much. Right, should we talk Doncaster then, fellas? What a result that was. And once again, every setback this team have, they just sort it out the next game, don't they? There's no panic. There's no big blips at all, Craig. It just comes together, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It is unbelievable. Like we spoke last week about the worry of maybe losing this week and then going into Lincoln, and all of a sudden, if they turn us over, it's 3 losses on the spin all of a sudden. But all they did, I could say, I thought the first 20 minutes, I thought, we've got a bit of a game here. They were pressing us all over the shop, and we couldn't get out. And I was worried about Ruben being up top, because we were trying to go to him rather than through him. And then after about 25 minutes, he started to find those pockets, and we were away. We had runners going beyond him, and we looked really good. Yes, somehow he just got us going again. I think he's such a good man manager. Never mind tactics. I think he's really good with the boys and picking them back up after a loss. I think that's a really big thing with him, and he just gets our head back into gear.
Yeah. So look at some social media takes. It's all about one fella, of course, Ellis as well. Craig says, enjoy him while we can. He's not going to be here for long. Tom says 20 million plus add-ons, plus a buyback option. Yeah. Taking away the Doncaster goal, how would you rate his season overall?
His season overall, obviously he's been injured for a couple of weeks before this, but even before that, I feel like he's been one of our best centre backs, if not one of the best players. And I know you said leaving Doncaster out of it. Obviously, he scored that goal. We've seen him do that in one of the previous games, so he's done that twice now this season. So no, for someone who's having his breakthrough season, he's such an influential and important part of this team. And yeah, I think it's just a case of, we've done well without him when he's been injured, but I think now he's back in. I want to see him in the starting lineup kind of every week, unless he needs a rest or if he picks up a knock, because I think he unlocks like that pass last week that Robertson scored the goal. No one else in our team would have done that. So not only does he bring something to the defence, he brings stuff going forward as well with his goal and assist he had last weekend. So yeah, he's had a brilliant season.
Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, have you had a chance to chat to him? Have you caught up with him on the way in? He's a rounded lad, whose feet on the ground.
Dylan's one of the most humble people you'll see. His family are brilliant as well. Always got time for the fans. He's, when they say one of your own, he literally is. He was in a Q&A with Brian Barry Murphy up in the Valleys on the night before travelling. He is humble, but like to pick up what Ellis and Craig have said is, when sides tend to press you, like we said about Lincoln may press us next week and stuff, having a mix of centre-halves that one can be able to do the old school sitting and defending, the other one can drive out. It provides everyone else with confidence. We're able to get up the pitch quicker and so on. And like Craig mentioned there, instead of going through like going past at Ruben, we went through him. That because Dylan Lawler is able to drive the ball out. Gabe O'Show started a bit ropey yesterday, didn't he? But then he kind of just went, right, I'm going to be the defender. I'm going to be the stopper. And Dylan, you're going to be, the sort of playmaker. But credit to him as well. People think about his going forward. What about that block when it was 0-0? And it was last ditch. He chased him down and he prevented it going to 1-0 to Doncaster. So a really talented boy. If he was at some other club and he was an English nationality, he'd be going for 20-25 million pound. And that's, I don't think any exaggeration.
Yeah. Brilliant. Let's look at another player then, shall we? Somebody who, we're absolutely delighted got a goal. Craig, talk about this fella for us.
Thank goodness. There's just so much. You can see when he comes on, there's no lost cause for him. He's closing everything down. He's busting the gut. He's chasing. He deserved his goal. What I was really happy with him, when he dropped his shoulder and come on, more centre forwards or strikers, when they're on such a barren run, they're just thumping and smashing everything and just want to get the ball in the net. He steadied himself. He took a breath and he finished fit. He showed his experience and his calm head. I was so happy for him.
Yeah, Alice.
Yeah, you just saw the relief pour out of him, didn't you, when he got that goal? Because he's been waiting for a while for that one. And we know the type of player he is. He's a patchy striker. So now that he's got the one, fingers crossed, he'll go on to get a few more now if he gets more game time. I'm not sure if it's enough to give him a starting position in the team. But, you know, he'll come off the bench and hopefully he'll just make an impact like he did on the weekend.
Sorry, just on that. At the end of the game yesterday, I think it's quite telling. We had this chat with regards to players last week and their roles at the club. And even though they aren't necessarily starting, you can see the type of player that they are when they're coming on, and the rest of the squad are like, they're so happy for him. Ronan Capaccio and all the youngsters, they went over to Robinson at the end yesterday because it was almost like, as they've called him in previous sort of thing, Uncle Robbo. You know, he is the senior figure of the team. But in years gone by, we've had this discussion where we feel that maybe players have been maybe a bit too selfish. Maybe it's about them and not anyone else. Whereas you just don't see that with Callum Robinson this year. You see a player that, yes, he is frustrated and you want him to be frustrated, but he's all for progressing youngsters. He's all for the way that the Murphy wants to play. And listen, like Craig said there, he showed his experience yesterday, but he also showed his professionalism. I think the fact that he didn't come on and smash and jump into challenges. He came on, and I think in the 94th minute, some people go to the corner flag. No, I really want to score. And credit to Callum Robinson for that, I think.
Brilliant. Next week we'll bring you the results and, of course, the all the fallout from that Lincoln game. Can't wait. So other bits and pieces to tally up on this weekend. The A to Z is coming into R, so R is for relegation. Craig, who's definitely, I mean, Vale are gone obviously, but who's definitely going to go down from this division this season? Who'd you like to see go down? Who's been awful?
Well, they were awful, but I was looking at the table now. They're 13th. I thought Barnsley were dreadful when they came. We beat them 4-0, but they're 13th. I think Port Vale are gone, and then it's tight though. 37, 36, 35. There's about 5 teams that could go. It's so tight down there. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Yeah. Any particular fan base, Ellis, got on your nerves that you think, get rid of them in this division?
Yeah, there is, but it's not a team that I expect to go down, and they're nowhere near relegation. Stockport, I'm still triggered from that game when Salah got injured, and they all jumped on that, and the whole Brad Hill's in your head. So they can go down, but they're not going. Okay. But yeah, I agree with what Craig said. It is tight. I think Port Vale are good as gone. Wigan and Blackpool are outside of the relegation zone at the minute, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them drop into it. And Leyton Orient are down there as well, which is quite surprising.
Yeah. Jamie, who's been the worst side you've played this season?
I think Rotherham have got to be up there for one of the worst, and that's no disrespect to them. They're going through their own thing, and their fans are probably not happy with their manager. But saying that, they beat Plymouth yesterday when we couldn't do that last week. So, I think the surprising one down there for me really is probably Leyton Orient. Start the season, they were unbelievable, and I suppose when they lose key players like Aaron Connolly, they lose that experience. And despite having one of the best top scorers in the league, who I would still, for this day, if it was a transfer window, be putting a cheeky bid in for, they sit in the relegation zone just ahead of Blackpool. So it's funny how football works, isn't it? Because we thumped Doncaster yesterday and they're still out of the relegation zone. So, plenty of points to be taken or to be lost, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get your February player of the month, Craig, if that's okay.
Dear me, Joel Colwell, I think. Has to be.
Okay. Yeah. Nods all around for that. Excellent. Good. Ellis, referees. This might be the very short answer. This one. Are there any good ones in this division?
No.
Okay.
No. I can't remember watching a game this season and thinking, that ref's all right. It's all been bad for me.
Right. Fair dues, fair dues. And finally, then, the A to Z, the letter R, please. So if you haven't followed this before, each letter of the alphabet, we're choosing a player or an event or something to do with Cardiff City to put into an annal of A to Z of this famous old club. So for R, has anyone got a good one? Jamie, do you want to go first this week? Or?
I've got the two R's actually in there, but there is a connection, and these two will know it. I think he scored yesterday. He's been brilliant. Only cost us £1 million, but Alex Robinson, and because of his uncle Gavin Ray. So they're the R&R for me.
Okay. Yeah, good shouts. Any others from you two?
Go on. I've been inspired by Jamie's cue for quality last week, even not last year. So I'm going for a little list. It's not a full 11. I'm going for our rocks at the back. I got my top 5.
Okay, right.
Here we go. Right. Bear with me, boys. Number 5, I got Darren Pearce. 4, Danny Gabidon. 3, he's not a centre-half, but he was solid, Lee Peltier. And then 2 and 1 are interchangeable. So I had 2 Morrison, 1 Bamba. But you could interchange.
Brilliant.
Rocks
at the back. Good. Ennis, can you beat that?
Yeah, mine's not as thought about as that. But I got 2 players, although I think one of them, I cheated at letter A. I think I put Aaron Ramsey as letter A, didn't I?
You did. So now we have to win.
For the other one, I'll go. Joe Rowles deserves to be in there. You know, fantastic servant for the club. Still going with Plymouth now, despite his injury. But yeah, I think he 100% deserves to be in on this list.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, how do we pick one out of that then? Alice, you choose this week. I'm going to have to ask someone to pick.
You know what? He's having such a good impact on our season this season. I'm going to go for the Gavin Ray and Alex Robertson connection.
Okay, all right, brilliant. Right. Now, S next week. So must be loads and loads and loads and loads you can think of for S. So get thinking on that one. And thanks for all the comments we have on this as well. Every single week we read them all. Makes us laugh, makes us smile. Yes, give us your Lincoln predictions as well. And we'll get this spot on next week. We'll give you a shout out on here as well. Right, you three, enjoy the massive game this Saturday. We'll be watching it on Sky, of course. Myself, which will be interesting. I won't be watching the Championship this weekend. I should be watching this one. Absolutely looking forward to it. See you then, and yeah, good luck against Lincoln. You can put a dent in that winless, undefeated run. See you then.